And then I will go ahead and mute you guys out. Mute off. Okay, hi everybody. Okay, so I'm so excited that you guys are on tonight's Zoom. We have so many exciting new things. I just got back from Hawaii at Top Achievers, and I've got to tell you, I am just so over the top impressed with this company. I just literally could just bust into tears. You know, you guys know, especially those of you that are on live, that I've been doing this a really long time. And this is my third company. And so my first company was a beautiful company. My second company was a great company. And, you know, I know it's good, and I've seen some bad things out there. And I've just got to tell you, I'm so very grateful to be a part of this company. I mean, just to kind of be surrounded, there was only 100 people there. Well, there was 200 people there. Well, actually a little bit more. So there was 100 people that won the trip, plus spouses. So that's 200, plus the corporate staff. And the corporate staff, they are just so full of heart. There's no ego. There's no inflating anything. There's no kind of going, oh, they're really good, you need to do what they're doing. Like, they're just, everybody's kind of on an even playing field. And you don't even know who's who unless you know who's who. You know what I mean? Like, nobody asked, what star am I? What star are you? Like, nobody cared. It was just, everybody was just normal and just really friendly and really healthy. Like, really, not just healthy in the body, but healthy in the mind. I just felt like, wow, I'm very grateful to be a part of this company. And, you know, there are people that are doing some really amazing things. Like, I don't know, I hope you guys were on Julie Yurovitz, and Lynn had a Zoom last night. And I saw a lot of you guys on there, but that was my number one thing to do when I got to Maui, was to meet Julie Yurovitz, because Lynn shared with me a little bit about her story. And I thought, wow, that is so interesting. And look at her now. She is an 8-star. Do you guys know that an 8-star is like $750,000 a year? Like, isn't that crazy? Okay, so Julie, which is, well, we heard a little bit about her story last night. I had no idea that she was a competitive soccer player, but I do know she was in my first company, which I had no idea until last night. She was in my first company, and she was at the top rank, so we were sidelines. And things started kind of tanking for her with that company when the owners sold to investors, which is exactly what happened to me. And that's when I went into my second company. She quit network marketing altogether. And her husband was the one who wanted to talk to Lynn, because he heard what she was doing over in Isogenics. And she says, I don't want anything to do with it. She had, like, her older kids were like going to college and getting scholarships, and she was consumed with that, and she just didn't want to do it again. And so he says, fine. He says, you just go do whatever. And she went and took a shower, and he got on the phone with Lynn, and he was taking all these notes. And he told me the story on the beach, and he was taking all these notes. And sorry about my dog barking in the background. Can you guys hear that? And, you know, he was drawing out the compensation plan, and then she came down and she saw his notes, and she said she started reading, and she was like, what? Like, what? Started asking him some questions. Then she got on the phone with Lynn the next day, and she's like, all right, fine. So it originally started where he was going to do the business. She kind of came in, but she wasn't that serious. Loved the product, started sharing it with other people, but didn't really focus on, like, getting to executive, didn't focus on the leader in action formula. She just was passionate about signing people up, passionate about helping people transform their lives and getting on, you know, a health regimen. And that's what she loved to do. And so it took her about 2.5 years to get to executive. And I thought that was just, I think that's inspiring, you guys. Not that I want everybody to take 2.5 years to get to executive, but I feel like if it does take someone 2.5 years, 3 years, 4 years even, I heard some people 4 years to get to executive, then you know that in 5 years or 6 years, you could be making almost $1 million a year with this compensation plan. Like, that's brilliant. I also met people there that literally weren't even executive, but they had maxed out a business center, which means they are doing at least a minimum of 250 cycles a week. And that's like, that's 8-star, which is what Julie is, and about $750,000 a year. You guys, you just need a rock star on the left and a rock star on the right, and you give it enough time, and you don't even have to personally enroll them. They can come from anywhere between above you or 250 levels deep, or 300 levels deep, or 500 levels deep. It just doesn't matter. So you guys, we just need to hang in there long enough and keep sharing, but definitely don't let that deter you from knowing your target to hit your target. You still want to print out your executive sheet. You still want to get really good at getting people on board and then helping them to share with 2 people. And so my second thing that I learned, we had David Wood or Woods with an S, David Woods. Okay, so he spoke to us twice. So we had 2 different sessions, and so funny when he comes up on stage and my husband's face is like, because he makes you do stuff that is so uncomfortable. Jeff is like, oh no, I think I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm like, you're going nowhere because you have to be my partner. And he makes you partner with strangers, and it's crazy, but it's good because, and Jen is, we'll let Jen speak in a few minutes, but Jen has been to like full weekends, 4-day things with David Woods. He hasn't been in Florida yet, but so yeah, that was really exciting. But we did get to couple with Hillary Courtney. Hillary Courtney, she's in her 30s, her and her husband. I think they have like 5 kids. And she's been with Isagenix for 11 years. And, you know, they actually printed out, hi, Amy. They printed out our little, in a sealed envelope, everybody with their names on it. And they had last year, 2017 versus 2018. And it's the Leader in Action formula. That's all this is about. It's all about the Leader in Action formula, which we're going to go through in detail in a few minutes. So they had exactly how many enrollments I had in 2017 and how many enrollments I had in 2018. They had how many rank advancements I had in 2017 and how many I had in 2018. And then they had what my cycle growth was for both. Okay, so I got to kind of compare, and some people had multiple envelopes. If you have, like, I think the Vavras had like 4 or 5 envelopes, which means they maxed out that many business centers, okay, because it's an envelope on each business center. And so I thought that was really neat to kind of compare and say, oh, well, you were really good at this when you came in, but you're really sucking at this now. Or maybe you were like, sucking, new, and maybe you're getting better at it. Well, in my case, I was sucking at it in my second year. And the reason being, so Hillary Courtney, same first names for double, I get confused. So Hillary says to me, so what do you think changed between last year and this year? And I said, well, that's easy. I came in from another company. I had some friends that came over with me. But I had 57 enrollments. And as you can see, and as you guys know, there's about 8 of you that came over with me. So where did the rest of them came from? I was really good at enrolling, and I was really good at throwing the excitement out on Facebook. And I had lots of people that were private messaging me. And so it was not so hard for me to enroll. And I was messaging people like crazy and adding them to Real People, Real Results. And you know what happens when you're new. And in my second year, and my rank advancements were like in the 50s as well, like crazy, right? That many rank advancements personally enrolled to me. But this year it was 9, 2018. And we're only in May, so we're only 5 months in. But remember, I didn't have a full year in did I have a full year in? Yeah, I guess I did have a full year in 2017. So she says, what do you think is a difference maker? And I said, I told her about that. And then she says, well, let me ask you a question. Are you sharing the business up front with every single person you talk to as you're presenting the products? And I said, well, I used to. I mean, think about it. for all of you that I enrolled that are right here with me today, did I go right in with the business? Yes, right in with the business. And then we spoke about the products, right? Well, somehow down the line, I started going right in for the products and never really talked about the business until later on. And by that time, you know, sometimes I have luck converting them and sometimes I don't. Well, she said, well, you know, because she's been in for 11 years prior to the preferred customer first program, because for those of you who aren't with us, how long has that been around? Like 6 months or something? We used to have, we just enrolled them, and we enrolled them, got their social security number, and they were an associate. Then they split it to where everybody came in as a preferred customer. I think we did have the preferred customer option, but we never signed anybody up as a preferred customer. They all went in as an associate. So then they split it where we had to sign you up first as a preferred customer, and then you should watch that video, and then you can convert into an associate. Okay, so what happened in the interim, and Kathy Cougar even got up on stage and said that the ratio between customers and associates has dropped, and she'd like to see it come up because a lot of people are just going there and they're not moving forward. They're not going to, because it's not done all at the same time. They're not taking that second step and converting them over. So that was a big aha for me, because it's true. In the beginning, I was drawing it out for every single person right up front, and now I'm not. And so that's going to definitely change. And so that's something that I love, what we're going to go through in a few minutes, the new Say, Share, Do, because that really takes you through, and that's why they created that. That really takes you through step by step what you need to do from preferred client to take them through associate and all the way through to consultant, which is going to be brilliant. So anyway, those were like my two big ahas, the Julie and the Hillary conversations. And sometimes you just learn more kind of off the grid than you do while you're sitting there listening to somebody speak the whole time. So the other thing, the big aha phrase for me was the global wellness store. You guys, we have a global wellness store, and I love that. And I think every time we post anything about Isagenix, whether it's on Real People, Real Results, or whether it's on our personal wall, we need to do hashtag global wellness store. Isn't that good? I mean, that's almost as good as virtual franchise, in my opinion. Okay, so the other thing was, okay, so we have products for keto, you guys. And if we actually sat back and thought about it, we could have probably figured that out ourselves. But we had Paul Asiero that was on stage, which I think he's awesome. He reminds me of the Jersey Boys, and he's so cute. And so anyway, so he was talking about, somebody asked him about keto, and instead of, we all kind of assumed he'd go, oh no, keto, anti-keto. He was like, oh no, keto's fine. Keto is really good for some people that have, certain ailments. Keto really works for them. He goes, everybody's body types are different. Some people's bodies just really respond to keto if done the right way. You don't want to do it like Atkins, where you're eating, bacon and stuff all the time. But he didn't say keto was bad. And so therefore they actually picked out some of the keto products. And I don't know if you've seen that grid, but if you haven't, I'll post it on Rising Stars, that we have. So some of them are, here, I can pull it up real quick. The IsaPro, of course, right? The IsaPro doesn't have the sugars in it, and the ratio of protein to fat to carbs is good. And then you have IsaDelights. IsaDelights fits in the keto diet. The snacks, to help regulate the sugar, that also fits in the keto diet. The IsaFlush fits into the keto diet. The Natural Accelerator fits into the keto diet. The greens, the sleep support, the cleanse, and the ionics. Wow, right? So all of these keto people that are thinking, oh, Isagenix, you guys have sugar, which we know the sugar is not bad sugar. It's just enough to carry the nutrients to the brain. But sometimes you just don't want to argue, right? And if they're on the keto diet, guess what? We have a whole keto-friendly system, which is great. Hopefully they'll bundle that for us in the future, which will be great. We have a whole new product line coming out, which I'm sworn to secrecy, so I can't tell you. But just to let you know that it's going to be incredible. And for those of you who may have experience with a product line like this, just know that it is going to be extremely competitive with the two companies that are leading the market. Okay, not even competitive, but above. Okay, and so that's all I can say about that. But that's going to be launched in the US and Canada at conference in celebration. So the other thing is they had this cutie, this incredible, adorable, spunky woman go on stage, and I can't remember her name, but she's now going to be in charge of making us a purpose-driven brand. And we already know that we are, we are already, we have Make-A-Wish. I think we donated, where did I write that down? Oh, we donated $3 million last year to Make-A-Wish. We donated $4 million to disaster relief just last year alone. Okay, so now we are on purpose, and like I said, they hired this woman specifically, and she's done really big things. And I'll get her name for you guys as well by tomorrow so that you can look her up, because she's really impressive. But they named it, and this was all Eric Coover. She says, so what would you like to name your purpose-driven brand? He says, well, the Isagenix Legacy Foundation, of course, and which is perfect. So almost everything that we start doing in the future is all going to have a big impact on not just the United States, but the world. So it's just going to be really fun to be a part of that. We have 2 new countries. So we have Spain on June 25th. So you guys, I've been thinking about this. Like, how do we gain? I've watched what's happened in the UK since they've launched it last May. And I'm thinking, how can we be a part of being at the ground level in Spain? And I really believe that the best way to do that is through Instagram, right? Of course, it starts in your backyard. Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? And you want to reach out and you want to start asking people, who do you know in Spain? But for cold market, we know Instagram, using hashtags and stuff, we can really start getting better at increasing our market and our following on Instagram when it comes to Spain, so that when we do launch, we have an audience. So if anybody has any good suggestions on that, send me a private message so that maybe we can kind of put together a training on that, because that's not my forte, but I would love to learn. The other thing is South Korea. Yes, Spain on your birthday, Mitzi. The other one is South Korea, you guys. And I thought, well, South Korea, huh? Like, that's interesting, right? I just, don't know anybody from Korea. But Michael was saying how South Korea is number 3 in the world in network marketing. Number 3. So like when people say network marketing here in the United States, sometimes what do we get? We get, oh, one of those things, right? It's getting better, but we still get that. But in South Korea, they don't say that at all. They go, oh, it's network marketing? I want in. Like, they are really, really excited about network marketing. Like, that is their go-to when it comes to industries. So Michael said, Pam and I were talking about this. I'm like, I don't know about nail salons. Like, I think they're Vietnamese, and I don't think that's the same thing. But Michael said, well, look for Korean restaurants in your area and start going. Like, I don't know if my food allergies, if I could go to a Korean restaurant. I don't even know what kind of food they have. But for you guys, maybe I could just fill up on a shake on the way. But, look for Korean restaurants in your area so that you can start going there, because probably they're family owned, right? You could probably start building some nice relationships, because you have plenty of time, because we're not going to launch there until October. So I think that's going to be really, really exciting, because that Lynn and Michael have the #1 earners, because they were all in top achievers, in Malaysia and in Singapore. How cool is that? Like, we need to have like the #1 person in South Korea. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so let's see, what's the other thing? Okay, so I had an aha as far as dropping goodie bags off, and this is something that I think some of us were doing for a little while, then we stopped doing it, right? And we actually made some good connections in the 1 or 2 weeks that we did it. Remember? So, taking a goodie bag, so it can be like just like Ziploc baggies and putting like a shake bag and putting maybe a bar, maybe an e-shot, greens or hydrate. It doesn't have to cost you a lot of money. Okay. But what you can do, and I think about my husband. Now, my husband has been a pharmaceutical rep his whole life. Okay. And then he was into medical and now he's into labs, but he still has to leave the house every day and he has to cold call. He has to randomly find doctor's offices and he has to walk in and he has to get through the gatekeeper, which is the front office clerk, right? And try to figure out a way to talk to the doctor. Okay, and it's not always easy. And he doesn't always get in the first try. And he doesn't always get in the second try. But he keeps going in and he wears down the gatekeeper. Okay. And so for us, I told him that I'm going to go ride with him a couple of days because I just would like to observe and see how he does it. But for us, we can target doctor's offices. Okay. Even if it's not, he thinks that our target is not so much the doctor, but more like the office staff because they don't make any money. And so we can walk in and we can say, today is Customer Appreciation Day in my company. I would just like to drop off a couple of samples. And you can even kind of maybe drop off a little basket that even has some little mini bottles of water in there and a cup, maybe a hydrate and a greens and a fruit and a couple of bars and maybe a shake sample so they can kind of share it in the back office, right? And maybe even like I was talking to Maury last week, maybe even like the little lookbooks, because you can buy the little ones and you can put it in the basket. And even if you could commit to doing 3 drop-offs a week and then going back in the following week to pick up your lookbook and follow up, okay, I think that would be a great addition to everything that we're already doing to build our business. So that is something that I've personally committed to doing to build my business because I still reach out every day. I can sit for hours on Facebook, messaging, reaching out, starting conversations, adding people to Real People, Real Results, participating on all of our groups and that kind of thing. But the one thing that I don't want to say not good at, but I haven't been doing is leaving my house, getting dressed, leaving my house and going out and purposely dropping off product and building a business. Okay, so I feel like my first company, that's all we did. All we did was belly to belly. We would have to go out and meet people, expand our network. That's what we are. We're network marketers. So our job is to network. Our job is to increase our network every single day. Every day, make new friends. Okay, and so we need to leave our house to do that. Whether it's taking yoga, whether it's joining a new gym. A lot of people, what they do is they just hop around. They do a free class here, a free class there, a free trial here, a free trial there. They try to make as many connections as they possibly can. They add into Facebook, and then they follow up and they, banter back and forth with different people. Because right away whether or not you're going to hit it off with somebody or not hit it off with somebody. I mean, we're pretty good at it that we know if this group is going to be good enough that we want to come back again and again, or if we need to move on to a second group, even doing Bible study or, a lot of different things that we could be doing to expand our network. But how many new friends can we make every single week? Because that's what's going to grow our business. So my first business was like that. And then we did home parties. We did a lot of home parties. And so these guys are doing like healthy happy hours. And yes, they're serving alcohol. They're serving wine. They're making, they're spiking their hydrate, because one of the girls got up on stage and said, I want to loosen them up. I want them to pull their wallet out. So, she does do that. If that's not something that you want to do, that's fine too. But they're doing healthy happy hours once a week, whether they have 2 people or 11 people. And sometimes they start off and sometimes it's just maybe 1 or 2 consultants that live in the area. And no guests. But if they're consistent, they do start showing up over time. And if there's nobody that shows up that's a guest, they kind of turn it into a training and they sit down together and they start messaging people and that kind of thing. And they kind of, cheer each other on. And so that's something that if you are around somebody in your area or even all by yourself, that's something that we should probably start doing. And then in my second company, we did some belly to belly. I learned a lot from walking up to people and handing them a card and wearing my brand, We can also do that in this company. Okay. And then also I learned throughout the years how to network online. And so I think I've learned even more over the last 2 years of being in Isagenix on how to network online. So we can take all these things and put them together and have a very well-rounded business. And so I just feel like if we want to have more, we need to do more. And that's just really the bottom line. And we need to just ask ourselves, if we don't like where we're at, what is it that we're not doing? And to be honest with ourselves, maybe we're just not doing enough, or we're not doing enough well-rounded stuff. Maybe we're doing the same thing every single day, and you're like, gosh, come on, people. And I know that was me. And so now I just need to start kind of changing things up and doing things a little bit differently, but yet the same. You know what I mean? So that was like a big aha for me. I'm like talking, there's so much to share. Okay, so the next thing is now the Isagenix, the new recruiting system, you guys. How many of you have watched the video on the new recruiting system? Anybody? Awesome. Is it really awesome? It's just so awesome. And I just think how perfect for us. You guys, we're just getting warmed up. This team is going to absolutely explode. So for us to get to know how to do this right now and get really good at it, as we get people going, we're going to go boom, 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 do this. It's going to be so clear cut. There's going to be no guesswork, and that's where duplication comes in. That's when businesses explode. Okay, so I'm just going to share my page real quick to take you through this. Let's see. Okay, I was going to start with that, but we'll start with this. Can you guys see that? Can you see that? Yeah? Okay. All right, so you go into isagenixbusiness.com. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to start here. Okay, and it says help your friends get started in Isagenix with say, share, and do. Okay, so step 1 is say. So basically say is we're taking the guesswork out of starting your first post, text, or call with a prospect about Isagenix. So these scripts, you can copy and paste them and send them as a text. So if you have that Hit 'em Up app, or if you have, or if you want to Facebook message them, text them, or you want to read them and voice memo them, okay? But you want to kind of get familiar with the scripts so that you aren't like, you don't sound like you're reading if you're going to voice memo it. And you also, like if you're texting it, you kind of just want to customize it to make it sound like it's coming from you. But the scripts are fabulous, okay? So it's going to help you know what to post, help you teach your new people what to post, point them in the right direction to pick out the script that they would like to post before they're waiting for their box to arrive, or after their box arrives, or once they're on the products for 2 weeks. These scripts are all right there, and they are not made up by the company. These are scripts by the top people in Isagenix, the big time recruiters are using these scripts, okay? And then the second one is share. And so this is Isamovie. So they got the Isamovie from Lynn and Michael's website, the gotakealook.info. They loved it so much that they changed Isamovie to look like it. And do you guys know that you can literally put your website in /Isamovie, and it goes right to the Isamovie, which is right here. Okay? So you can either go to Isamovie and your name won't be attached to it, or you can go to your website /Isamovie, and this is what comes up. Okay, so this is, now they don't have the, if this is, you know, like on gotakealook.info, if this is what's happening, then this is what it, like they don't have that. They're still using Isagenix videos, but they have to start your transformation, and then to check out our most popular packs. And then the transformations, just like on Go Take a Look, right? You have all the before and afters. The how it works is basically the how to have a shake day, how to have a cleanse day, and what's in your pack, what's in your value pack, you know, those cute little videos that they have. That's all right here. You have the clinical research, just like Go Take a Look. And then refer a friend is the you share, they share. Okay, so that's all right there. And now what's really cool, like let's say you have somebody that basically they say, well, how exactly does this work? You can click on that, and all you need to do because I went in through my URL, gershowitz.isagenix.com/isomovie. I just copy and paste it, and I text it to them. Takes them right to this page. Okay, so let's say they say, well, tell me about the clinical researches. I click on it, and then I copy and paste it, and I send it to them. It takes them right to this page, but it's linked to me. Okay, so let's say, oh, let me get back. Why is it not going back? Okay, so let's say they want performance. You click on performance. See how my name is there? Copy and paste, send it to them, goes right to the performance link. Okay, so it just makes it really, really easy to send people exactly what they're looking for. Exactly. I love it. I love it. But I still like gotakealook.info. I mean, I think that one's really good too, because that has the White Cleanse video on it and that kind of thing. But just know that this is here, and take a look through both, and whatever works for you, works for you. Okay, so that's share. So once you get them interested, so you're fishing, you get them to bite, then you're going to share your iSamovie link. And now, how do you get them to do? Let's get them to do. Let's get them signed up. And so now you have do scripts, okay? And once, which the do scripts, we'll take a look at those. They respond. So what did you like best about what you saw on iSamovie? I know when we spoke last, your goals were blah, blah, blah. And I know the system can really help. They respond. And you say, well, on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being totally committed, how committed would you say that you are of achieving blah, blah, blah? They respond. Well, when you achieve your goals, what are some things that you'd be able to do differently that you can't do now? So they're casting vision. And so it's everything that, you know, we have a lot of these questions, and we've taken them from like Eden Slobin and things like this, but this is going to be so streamlined, and they're just the perfect questions, the perfect questions. And so this helps you get them completely signed up, takes you right to the very end. So make sure you spend some time and you really start looking through that. Okay. Any questions on that before we move on? Okay. Okay, so we did iSamovie, we did isagenixbusiness.com. Okay, so the next thing, I stopped, oops. Okay, I gotta share it again. Maybe I gotta share that, do that. How do I share? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, can you guys see that? The leader in action formula? Okay. All right, so you guys, we've talked about this a lot. But it wasn't until I watched Julie last night, because a lot of us have had the conversation, like if you're not an executive, you kind of feel like, well, why bother? And I can totally understand why one would feel that way. But the way that Julie does, Julie is getting her team in the habit of following this formula, because this is the formula for success. And the company is so brilliant. I mean, you have Kathy Coover that went to the top of 3 different network marketing companies. Jim Coover created 2 different network marketing companies. These guys know what they're doing. So they put together the formula for success. And I had a conversation with somebody on our team, and he was saying, well, I don't know if this is relevant to like discuss, you know, with some of the teammates, because like if they're not, you know, first they have to enroll, right, in order to rank advance them. And if they're not enrolling, then they can't rank advance them. They're certainly not going to have cycle growth. I said, well, I know, but unless you set the bar, they're just throwing a bunch of mud against the wall. And Julie even said the reason she didn't go executive is because she never focused on it. She never focused on it. And you guys, I have an experience with that. You know, when I first started, I earned really big in the pools. And then my benchmark was so high, and the girl who helped create that benchmark left. So my benchmark was way up here, but my cycles are way down here. And I thought I was defeated. And I'm thinking, I'm not even going to look to see what my benchmark is. I'm not going to pay attention to when the pools start and when the pools end, because I'm not going to earn in them anyway. How many of you feel the same way? And so if you feel defeated and you're not paying attention, I can guarantee you nothing good is going to happen. So I decided to have a pity party, and I even called Michael, and I was crying to him, and quite embarrassing the next day after the fact. I wish I could have like pulled that back. But you know, the next day I realized, you know what? If I don't work on purpose as if it's going to happen, then I'm never going to grow. And I knew that. I know that in theory. But our minds are so powerful, and they can defeat us so easily. And we can absolutely let it happen, even though we know what we know. You guys, most of us have been doing this for quite a while. We know what we know. So we need to listen to the guy that's talking some sense and not the guy who's not talking some sense. So I decided to pay attention. And I spent 4 weeks, and I wrote down my benchmark, and I wrote down my my 4 PET benchmark. Okay, and every single week I filled out this form, and I knew what I needed to do. I knew that I needed to grow. So I was participating in the 2-star pools. So I knew that I needed to grow my personal cycles by 11 total. And if I didn't grow it by 11, it didn't matter what my growth was in the 4 PET because I wouldn't earn a penny. Okay, so I had to pay attention to my personal cycle growth, which I have some control over. Okay, I had to work with the team to try and get some cycle growth in the 4 PET, which means not just my personally enrolled, but I had to dig, pay attention, pull my back office up, see who was doing stuff, reach out to them, start conversations, offer assistance, okay? And I ended up earning $972 in the pools because I was on purpose. So I'm just telling you guys that because if you feel defeated and you're not paying attention to the executive chart and you're not paying attention to the leader in action formula, I can guarantee you, you won't ever get to executive and you're never going to earn in the pools. So if you do not know what I'm talking about, whether you're live or watching the recording, please reach out. I want to get on Zoom with you one-on-one. I want to look through your back office. I want to show you how to figure out your benchmark. I want to go through this formula with you, and I want to teach you how to tally it up and add it up and work on purpose so that you too can earn in the pools. Okay, so what I love about this one, Julie made this one. The only thing that's different is you see the 4th column says number of weeks active at current rank. She says, I want them to pay attention to their cycle growth. I want them to pay attention to their benchmark and their growth. So even if, like, let's say their benchmark is 4, she wants them, you only have to grow it by 1, you guys. So let's say your benchmark is 4, week 1. You know, the benchmark is going to be the same for all 5 weeks, if it's a 4-week or a 5-week pool. And you figure that out because it tells you in your back office. Like I said, if you don't know, we're going to hop on together one-on-one, and I'm going to show you how to figure that out. Okay, so let's say in a 5-week pool, your benchmark is 5. Let's do that for easy math. It's going to be 5 for 5 weeks. Okay, so you know that one of those weeks, you need to grow by 1. Okay, in order for your total points at the end of the 5 weeks to at least be 1. It just cannot be 0. Okay, and then the second column is the number of personal enrollments. So let's say week 1, 0. Let's see week 2, 2. Let's say week 3, 0, 0, 0. But you had 2 in week 2, or maybe you only had 1 in week 2 and 0 in the rest. You had 1. That's the most important thing. You just can't have 0. Okay, and then rank advancements. Help somebody get to consultant. 1 person in 5 weeks. Okay, of course you want to shoot for 1 a week. That would be brilliant. But at least 1 in the whole pool period. Okay, you just don't want to add any of those columns up to 0. Now, if you have more than 5 personal enrollments, they only count 5. They do not want you to, they do not encourage you to be a sponsor monster. They want you to do, shoot for 2 a week because they want you to coach them. They want you to build relationships with them. You can't possibly do that if you're pulling in 20 people a week or 20 people a month. Okay, so, take that pressure off yourself. Now, and then the number of weeks currently active at your current rank. So let's say your highest rank is manager. Guess what? Manager, do you see the points at the bottom? If you're a consultant, you get 1 point. If you're a manager, you get 2. If you're a director, you get 3. If you're executive, you get 4. But the main thing is you're going to pay attention to what your current rank is, your highest rank ever achieved. And your goal is every week to hit that rank, your highest rank achieved. Of course, you're going to try and reach past there. But if you can pull a couple of pool periods and just shoot for maintaining your rank and increasing and having not zeros in all the other ones, you're going to be on the right track. You're going to be doing amazing. And remember, small, and I posted on Facebook today, and then I worded it different yesterday, small, consistent activity every single day. That's what matters. It's not the big stuff. It's not landing the best business builder in network marketing. It's not signing up 5 people in a week. It's not having a huge day. That's all great, but it's the small little things that you do consistently over time that's going to make or break you, whether they're good habits or bad habits. So you just want to be consistent. And Darren Hardy was our keynote speaker, and his book that he gave us all, it's called The Compound Effect. And it's really good. And it's just like, for some reason also, our brains think that we, I can sit here, like today I had I've been sitting at my computer since 10 o'clock this morning, except for my dinner break. And I'm like, what? Should I be doing 10-hour days? I have the 10-hour day, and then I'll have an hour and a half day. And then I'll have a 3-hour day, and then I'll have a 10-hour day. If I could just do a 4-hour day, every day, 5 days a week, that's the compound effect. Or maybe for you, if you have a job, maybe it's 1 hour a day, but 1 hour every day. A lot of us, we get okay, we're going to do this. And then we work really hard for maybe 3 weeks, right? And then we go, oh, I don't see results. I don't see results. I quit. This is not working, And he had a picture of somebody eating a cheeseburger. Okay, so it was like a skinny person eating a big giant cheeseburger, and then he flipped the slide, and it was this really heavy person eating a cheeseburger. He's like, so if you ate a cheeseburger and that happened immediately, you'd never eat another cheeseburger. So this is the compound effect, you guys. We expect things to happen instantly, and they're just not going to happen that quickly. We just need to get so very good at being consistent with the little daily things that we do every day to move our business forward. And that's why for me, if I can commit to leaving my house 3 days a week and handing somebody a sample bag, and then if I can commit to my 6 list, which for me is 10, 10, 10, 10. Maybe for you, it'll be 3, 3, 3, 3 or 2, 2, 2, 2. But if you could commit to that every single day and dropping off 1 sample bag a week, and if that's what works for you, if that's the compound effect, and your business will grow. So what I'd like to encourage everybody on this team to do is to print this sheet out every single Monday, so we know that the week rolls over every Sunday night at midnight. Every Monday, fill in what happened last week, okay? And then make an appointment, not make an appointment, just send me a text. And at the end of the pool period, we're going to go through your sheet. Okay? And that'll be maybe an accountability. Okay? An accountability for you, an accountability for me. It'll help us to stay connected. And if you feel like every Monday that you need to hop on a Zoom to kind of go through, if you had all zeros and you're really disappointed and you're going, I don't know what else to do. I really felt like I was being consistent. I did things, but nothing happened. And you want to get on the phone on Mondays, I'm leaving my Mondays open to make sure that I connect with everybody on the team to go through Leader in Action. Okay, so, and like I said, if you do not know what this is and you're really, really confused right now, make sure that you reach out to me so that we can hop on Zoom and go through it. Okay, does anybody have, I think that's really almost all I have tonight. Jen.
Okay, I had to unmute myself. One thing that I posted in the chat too, Rachel, that this is really important for the Leader in Action is this helps you with the director pools as well. Mm-hmm. This whole formula. And I, when I got started, I maxed out the director pools, and I didn't even know what I was doing, but it was all the Leader in Action formula That whole combination of, you know, how many cycles, how many promotions, how many enrollments. So even if you're, like you said, not an executive yet, and you think this isn't pertaining to me, or I don't need to know this yet, actually it does pertain to you, because you are eligible. You know, if you're just getting started, or if there's a crystal reset, it's like, this is all part of all the pools. So it's not just the executive pool.
That's right. That's right. And I'm glad you brought that up. And you know, the thing is let's say you already hit director, so that the next one is executive.
Mm-hmm.
You have to hit executive to be in the pools, because you can't go back. It's still really important to develop. If you want a $1 million business eventually with Isagenix, if you even just would be thrilled to be at 2-star, 3-star, 5-star, whatever it is for you that your goal is, the habits that you do as you start developing a team are going to trickle. And if you are going, this doesn't pertain to me, or I'm just going to keep just signing people up and helping them and throwing mud against the wall, then that's just what you're going to get. And you're never going to attract those people that are going to be in the business. And so I'd like to, that leads me to kind of my conclusion. So one of the things that Darren Hardy said was, make a list, and we've done this before, but make a list of all the attributes of the people that you want on your team. So if you could have like the perfect business partner, what would their personality be like? Would they be driven? Would they be a people person? Would they be loving? Would they be healthy? Would they be strong? Would they be athletic? What would those people look like if you could pick out the 5 most perfect people to come on your team? Who would they be? What would they be like? Now, this is the fun question. What kind of person do you need to be to sponsor somebody like that? Isn't that so interesting? To turn it around and go, okay, am I that person? Because I have people in my head that I want. I want them on my team. But could I handle them? You know what I mean? So like, what kind of person do I need to become to be able to handle a Lynn Hagedorn coming on my team? Okay, so write those things down, and then write down what you need to become, and then start working on that person. Do you want somebody to come on board that's not going to, when you tell them to follow leader in action, and they're going to go, that looks too hard? Right? No. So I don't know. I'm going to open it up for questions. I know we went through a ton. This is recorded if you need to watch it again. And like I said, if any of this confuses you and you need to hop on a Zoom, just send me a message and we can hop on over the next couple of days. Any questions? Comments?
Rach, you need to tell people how much Hillary Courtney, you skipped it. How much Hillary Courtney makes every single week?
$37,000 a week.
Isn't that crazy?
She's like 36 years old. Her and her husband do Isagenix full time. They've been in for 11 years. And it didn't happen just like that. It took her years.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's so exciting. And she's so nice.
The date on South Korea is October.
They just said October.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have a complete date on that. Anybody else? No? All right. Well, we've been on an hour, so I'm going to let you guys go. But I'll get this uploaded and I'll post it on Rising Stars by the morning.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.